The European Le Mans Series reaches the crescendo of the season, which has taken us to 5 different countries across 6 different rounds. And it all comes down to this final 4-hour race that takes place tomorrow at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Delighted that you can join us for qualifying, though. Saturday early evening with 3 doses of it. First of all for the GTEs, then the LMP3s and the P2s will follow. And a great field of GT cars about to attack this 4.6 kilometre circuit at the Algarve International. And Michael Fassbender, these days resident in Portugal, living a couple of hours up the road in Lisbon, so loves this place, travelling down to up the Algarve and gets good support here as well. My name's Johnny Palmer, joined as always by Graham Goodwin, the editor of dailysportscar.com. And the sun just starting to develop that golden light. What are we, 4:30 just gone in the afternoon. A lot of spectators around here enjoying Saturday. Probably even more will join as well for tomorrow's 2 races for the Michelin Le Mans Cup in the morning and the ELMS showdown in the afternoon, Graham.
Absolutely. GTE to start, 11 cars set to go. Porsches, Ferraris, Aston Martins, and ticking down to the penultimate season, or rather to the start of the ultimate season for GTE. This the last race in Europe for these cars this year, and lots up for grabs. The glory, of course, of the win, but championship still up for grabs here in the European Le Mans Series in all 3 categories, Johnny. 95 car here, John Hartshaw, I'm sure it will be aboard that wheel. It's the bronze drivers only, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's adopted the World Endurance Championship method this season.
So Andrew Haryanto, which what I believe will be his final race in the European Le Mans Series. Don't think we're going to see Absolute Racing back. There are all sorts of shenanigans going on elsewhere in the grid for next season. Much more news of that in the days and weeks to come. I'm not going to mention a couple of stories that affect some teams here that we've been writing over the last couple of days, but you can have a look at all the usual places, and of course on dailysportscar.com for a couple of very exciting stories to do with cars, teams, combinations that perhaps you weren't expecting in the European Le Mans Series and the FIA World Endurance Championship next year. 69 car, that is the Oman Racing by TF Sports car that's been right in the thick of things, and subject to appeal, could be the final race we see Ahmed El-Hati as a bronze ranked driver.
Okay.
He has been at the moment allocated a silver ranking for next season, and that causes all sorts of, well, problems really for him and for teams looking to get the talented Omani into racing. There's the 3 cars run by Proton this season. I expect there to be no fewer next season in the European Le Mans Series, but very different looking trio. I'll say that much at this point.
And the 77 car, when it gets out onto track, might well be struggling for some drive out of the corners, because that'll be pretty heavy. It won last time out. It finished 3rd at Monza, and they are close to the top of the championship as well. So additional success ballast that you have to run, certainly in this session and during the race tomorrow. I think also in free practice as well. It's mindful to run with the correct allocation of success ballast just to get the setup of the car correct. This car, remember, got given back its win at Monza after initially having it taken away. And the 33 car for Rinaldi Racing returning. Now, was this car at Spa?
We lost the 33. No, the 33 car was back. Unfortunately, there is a change for Rinaldi, but it's in the 32 car.
Yes.
Get well soon to Pierre Arret, who's not with us this weekend.
So they go to a 2-driver lineup, don't they?
That is very unusual indeed. So it's a 2-driver lineup. Diego Lessi is bronze rated.
Yes.
Nico Veroni is silver. And they've had a race win this year, remember, in the opening race of the season with a slightly different driver lineup. The other thing to mention, by the way, is it is 11 and not 12, and incredibly, after 49 consecutive starts in the European Le Mans Series, for 2 completely different reasons, we've lost the 55 car. Get well soon, Duncan Cameron. Hope you're listening in, Dunk. We hope you're back with us next season. I believe we are going to see your beautiful Ferrari back for one last crack at GTE, and missing you. Unfortunately, that run of 50, it just wasn't to be. But yeah. Matt Griffin will tell you he's already started more races than you anyway, just not consecutively, Matt. Away we go, on board with the 77 car, and let's tell you who's out there already aboard these fabulous GT machines. In the 18, Absolute Racing Porsche 911 RSR 19, it is Andrew Harrianto. Diego Alessi is aboard the Rinaldi Racing 32 Ferrari 488 GTE. It is Christian Hook in the sister 33 car. Kessel Racing sees the return of Takeshi Kimura in the number 57 car with the car guy branding. It is Claudio Schiavone in the Iron Lynx number 60. That's the bright yellow, the other bright yellow car. Giacomo Petrobelli, a fabulous run last time in the JMW 66 car. He qualifies that car. Ahmed Al-Hati, as we said, in the 69 Oman Racing with TF Sport car. Christian Reed, team principal of Proton Competition, again gets aboard his 77 Proton Porsche. We're waiting for the Iron Dames to come out, but we'll wait for that in a moment. The 93 car, it is Michael Fassbender, was epic here last year. Let's hope he can have another great run on what is effectively his de facto home circuit. And then John Hartshorn in the second Oman Racing with TF Sport car, the red Aston Martin number 95. It will be Sarah Bovey aboard the number 83 car, and it will be, again, subject to appeal, her final race in Europe as a bronze rank driver too, because she again has been reclassified for next season. Yep. Away we go, Johnny.
77 straight back into the pits. This will be part of the plan, I'm sure, for Christian Reed. Sarah Bovey's not even left the pit lane just yet. I'll just correct about the 77 success ballast. They won at Barcelona and they were actually 5th in Spa, so that won't add extra ballast. So I reckon it's going to be 30 extra kilos for the championship leaders Proton Competition. Now, have they brought that car in to do a quick switch around on the tyres? It's a quicker process potentially to warm those tyres up if you switch them diagonally. Tend to see that more so in touring car racing rather than in GTEs, but it's certainly a possibility. Absolute Racing's Porsche, Andrew Harrianto, has also come straight back into the pits. You haven't got a lot of time to play with, though, here. No. This was only a 10-minute session to start with, and we're down to 7 minutes remaining already as Takeshi Kimura begins the roller coaster ride over the rise into turn 9 with fingers crossed down at Kessel Racing.
Yeah, car guy, liveried 57 car from Kessel Racing, Swiss team for his Japanese backers. Car guy, very enthusiastic race team based just outside the Fuji Speedway in Japan in Gatemba. And Takeshi Kimura, late addition to the World Endurance Championship, aboard one of the Porsches last time out there, back aboard effectively his car and pushing very hard indeed. Always did look great in these colours. The team in GT3 form, previous Asian Le Mans Series champions. And Takeshi Kimura crosses the line now to post the first flying lap of this session. It's a 1:42.765.
Here's the 32 car in the hands of Diego Alessi. Easy to forget that it was the 32 Ferrari that took the first win of the year. Indeed. Back in April at Castellet to back up a pole position.
Goes to the top. It's a 1:42.190. I'm watching Giacomo Petrobelli, by the way. He's going very quickly indeed.
He wasn't in that shot in the super slow-mo, but it was wonderful to see the JMW Motorsport car at slower speed. Much quicker, though, because he's gone fastest, Graham.
1:41.916, 1-2-3 at the moment for the Ferraris. It's 4 because they're the only 4 who've gone through. Claudio Schiavone a little way off that time. That's a huge lock-up from Petrobelli.
Surely he's going to have to pit for new Goodyears at the end of this lap, as we've already seen some cars do. And yeah, that will have raised some eyebrows down at JMW. We were bearing through the Kessel Racing car guy windows through to Mikkel Jensen and teammate Fredrik Scharndorf, watching their Japanese teammate going in style, Takeshi Kimura, running in 4th at the moment, car 57. But remember, they were winners last time out at Spa-Francorchamps.
Second quickest, Ahmed Al-Hati with a 1:42.187, 3,000 second clear of Diego Alessi. Where did you make up the 3,000ths, Ahmed? Where did you lose the 3,000ths, Diego? But quicker light times still coming in. Al-Hati and Diego Alessi both on very rapid laps indeed. Giacomo Petrobelli, as we saw there, not on a quick one right now.
Often the question is posed, how important is qualifying ahead of a 4-hour race? Well, on 3 separate occasions this year, the car that got pole on a Saturday went on to win the race the next day. It happened in round 1 at Castellet with the 32 Ferrari. It happened with the 69 Oman Racing Aston Martin at Imola, and last time out for Kessel at Spa. So you could argue it is very important.
Unless he goes second, and he goes second by just a thousandth, under a tenth. The other thing is important for, particularly with these gentleman drivers, Johnny, is confidence.
Yep.
It's, you know, the lift it gives them and the confidence and the ability of the car in extremis on the circuit like this, a really challenging circuit, gives them that lift for the race the following day.
And it means you're not wedged in traffic in those first few laps. If you've decided maybe not to start with your bronze driver to try and get track position, it's one thing putting a silver or a gold or indeed a platinum in the wheel of a GT car, but you've got to get through the traffic then to make it worthwhile. Sarah Bovey, watching her coming out of turn 15 now, an absolute best. She's in the middle sector.
Very quick.
This will bring her definitely up
second.
Up to the front row at least. 27 thousandths of a second, that's all away from Giacomo Petrobelli. So 2 Ferraris and a moment or 2 ago, very sideways, in fact a full spin for Andrew Haryanto in the number 18 absolute rating Porsche.
Yeah, top 3 separated by under a tenth of a second at the moment. Petrobelli, Bovey and Diego Alessi. Ahmed El-Hati less than a further tenth back from that, and popping up into what was 4th, now 5th, Christian Reed, 5th quickest in the championship, leading 77 Porsche. It's close, very, very close.
The current laps for Petrobelli and for John Hartshorn will not count. They've already been spotted at crossing the white line, probably at turns 1 and 2, so been done for track limits. And actually, Petrobelli's been off the road somewhere because his middle sector's 10 seconds slower than everybody else. So that's, I'm guessing, a spin within that middle sector, maybe down at turn 5, which we didn't see. Meanwhile, Sarah Bovey right in the ballpark, and again is up. So I haven't had absolute best through through sectors 1 and 2, but when you link them all together, this could be a very good time again for the Belgian.
Michael Fassbender has not yet put in a flying lap. What's he going to be able to do? Okay. Also up on the pole time, Diego Alessi after his first sector. So 2 drivers at the moment on schedule for a change in pole position, and Petrobelli is pitted and is out this session.
Okay, so what was that about? Track limits in the first sector. The second sector was 10 seconds away. Sarah Bovey, can she snatch pole position? Waiting for her to cross the line, just short. It wasn't an improvement in the end, bizarrely. Even though she got a personal best through the final sector, didn't gain enough time through it. Here's Michael Fassbender now, 7th position in the Emerald Green 93.
Well, now he's on the board, he can push.
Yes.
That's the key here. If Michael Fassbender's got the car underneath him and the confidence, now he can push. What about Alessi? What about El-Hati, who's up as well?
Alessi just been through the gravel. That's what that replay was, coming out of turn 8. 2 wheels dropped off into the gravel, so that middle sector will not be too pretty. Oh, yeah, but
he's still up.
Actually.
Bovey's up.
And they tenth of for track limits either.
Bovey's up, Alessi's up, El-Hati is up on pole time, and not one of them by more than a tenth of a second. It is thousandths in this. 27 thousandths currently separates first and second. Giacomo Petrobelli stationary on pit lane in provisional pole. Diego Alessi crosses the line. That was a poor finish to the lap from him. Waiting for Ahmed El-Hati. What can he do? He's half a tenth off pole position pace with the 3rd sector to come. Sarah Bovey is a quarter of a tenth up on pole position with the final sector to come. And we've got 30 seconds left on the clock, and I think both will have another go at this.
Andrew Haryanto unlikely to improve from stone last in the session because this lap's not going to count. Here's Bovey then out of the final corner. She's been up in the middle in the first sector, a good middle sector. Can she link it all together?
Yes!
And goes top with a 141.888 for the Brussels woman driver, and over the line then goes down towards turn 1. Concentration in the helmet there, turning left and then right, and Sarah Bovey provisionally is on pole position
by 28 thousandths of a second. It's the checkered flag is out. It's the lap they're on now and nothing more. 5 thousandths up. Ahmed El-Hati It's within his grasp. 41 thousandths down, Christian Reed. It's within his grasp.
Haryanto's been around again. That was a few moments ago, but the Absolute Racing car off the road coming out of turn 11.
He has really struggled, has he, in this session?
Well, this lap's not going to count either because track limit's done for him as well. It's a 1:55, which is 10 seconds slower than we would want to see. So, yeah, at the back of the field, Andrew Haryanto will take his starting position. Obviously, with Giacomo Petrobelli pitting as early as he did, he cannot offer a response to Sarah Bovy and anybody else out there that could potentially leapfrog.
Bovy's up on her own time.
Okay.
She's 42 thousandths up her own time. The margins here are mind-bendingly small.
Yeah. 28 thousandths of a second, then a tenth and a quarter, pretty much back to Diego Alessi.
Relatively poor middle sector for Christian Reed. He looks like he's out of it. Not out of it is Ahmed El Harti. Where's he going to end up? And he crosses the line. He's done no better than fourth, dropped a couple of tenths in that final sector. This is all about what we're going to get out of Sarah Bovy here. So much improved time, by the way, on the way from Michael Fassbender. Seventh, he was. Where's he going to finish? The answer is sixth. Bovy, pole for Iron Dames.
The ripple of applause from Iron Lynx then means that the 83 car tops the times, and it will be a gleaming smile from Sarah Bovy once she arrives down pit road and gets the congratulations from her team. Michelle Gatting, Dorian Parr, who, when I looked at the times from Spa-Francorchamps, was the fastest GT driver of everybody when it came to race trim. Dorian Parr, faster than the Platinums that we have in this category. Shows how what a star she could be for the future.
And since we saw her last, has clinched the Ferrari Challenge title, the second consecutive Iron Dame to do it, after Michelle Gatting won in 2021. Dorian Parr, you can just see there, just behind Rahel Fry with the shorter lady with the headphones on. That is Dorian Parr, is now the 2022 Ferrari Challenge champion. It's some story, this Iron Dames programme.
Well, great to have Rahel Fry here for the season finale, because remember, the first half of the season, the points have been accumulated by Rahel as well. Dorian Parr stepping in. Let's get reaction from the team, though, now with Hayley Edmonds.
So I'm joined here by Michelle Gatting, driver of car number 83. I mean, finally, you know, after being so close all throughout the season, she's clinched that pole, Sarah Bovy, here today.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to kind of end the season. I mean, I know how important this was for Sarah to do it and to prove it, and also for us. I mean, we've been working quite hard, actually, to get the car on point. We were not really sure about this quali. We all had a bit like we were really not sure. But Sarah, she was pushing until the check-in flag, and she kept pushing, and she got her pole position in ELMS, and I'm super happy for her.
So what does this mean, you know, prior to the race? How important is it, you know, in terms of, you know, even having confidence going into the race?
Yeah, I mean, Sarah have been doing all the stars this year, so we are very confident that she's going to go out and do a good start. Important for us is that she goes out and make the gap to the other cars, hopefully not too many safety cars, and then it's up to me and Dory in the end. But we know Sarah can go out and do the gap, and then we have to try and finish the job.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So from 6 qualifying sessions, we've had 5 different pole sitters, amazingly. Just shows you how close the GTE category is in the European Le Mans Series. The only double pole sitter, the 69 Oman Racing Aston Martin.
Yeah. I'll say this much, Johnny, you know, I'm a journalist by trade. We're supposed to be completely impartial, but I can't wait until the inevitable happens and those girls win a race, because they deserve it. The programme has been spectacular. The way they've developed the talent has been excellent. It's been a real credit to the Iron Lynx team, to the Iron Dames project, to Deborah Mayer and Claudio Schiavone, to the Pacini brothers, Andrea and Giacomo. Another pole position. They've done it in WEC. They've now done it here. Now it's time to see what we can get to happen in race trim.
So there's no doubting Rahel Fry's talent. I'll tell you more about Dorian Parr in a minute, but let's confirm the times. 1:41.888 confirms a first ever pole position for Rahel Fry in the ELMS and for Iron Lynx / Iron Dames. JMW Motorsport only 28 thousandths of a second shy, with Giacomo Petrobelli's time in the red and silver 66 Ferrari. Then Rinaldi Racing's Diego Alessi, considering he stepped in fairly late on as the bronze qualifying driver to replace Pierre Eret. That's a great effort to get the car into third, ahead of Oman Racing with TF Sport, Ahmed Al-Hati. Christian Reed's Proton Competition 77, the championship leader, ahead of the sister car for Michael Fassbender in 6th position. But when you look at the fastest lap times from the 4 hours of Spa, Dorian Pau was the quickest GTE driver, faster than Alessio Picariello, Enrique Chaves, Richard Leeds, Sorensen, Jensen. I mean, all of these names, and she did a 2:17.3. A real talent, and you know, that's not to take anything away from Rahel Fry, because she's the bronze, and there is clearly a lot of talent to tap into there. She will become silver next year, as you've been describing.
As we move on to LMP3, one final thing to say about Dorian Pan, and all that's happened this year with that Ferrari Challenge program, exactly the same has happened with Michelle Gatting after having done that program, is it's increased her confidence, it's increased her race smarts, it's increased the pace and the consistency, and it's made her a better driver.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, transferring that from a one-make series to this with a crude CREWED, crude endurance race, it has transferred beautifully. Can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
That's the GTEs, folks. Turn the page, because we're now going to welcome 13 LMP3 cars onto the racetrack. These sessions will be getting busier and busier. And LMP3 tends to be the standout because you never quite know which car is in the best position regarding track placement.
Yep.
When are they released into the session? How many laps can be completed within 10 minutes? And it's often whoever crosses the line last that gets pole position. So you will not be able to tear your eyes away from this one. Qualifying drivers yet to be fully confirmed. We have names on the screen, but we will wait for the cars to join the session. But it is so true. I mean, you might as well stick a pin in these 13 names. You might have more of a hope of picking out the pole sitter than doing it on pure judgment.
Beautifully prepared. Let's see if they stay that way. The 13 cars ready to come out. It is, as has been through this season, 12 Ligiers, a solo Duqueine. That is the DKR Engineering car, the number 4 car. 2 cars apiece from United Autosports, from Euro International into Europol competition, Cool Racing and RLRM Sports, and a single car. Did I mention Nielsen Racing? I did. And a single car from 360 Racing. It's the cream of European LMP3 talent in terms of the teams and very many of the drivers. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is where you start to hear the names you'll be shouting in a year or two's time in the hero cars at the front of races like the Le Mans 24 Hours.
No restriction on qualifying drivers in this category. Predominantly it's bronzes and silvers, and it's the 13 Inter Europol competition car that tops the championship after 3 wins in a row. It's been quite a run for Monza, Barcelona and Spa-Francorchamps for the 13 car, the little team from Poland. And Inter Europol competition enter this final round on 79 points, therefore 19 clear of Cool Racing, who had an absolute nightmare at Spa-Francorchamps last time out. Mo Smith in his opening stint minding his own business, and he got the biggest whack down at La Source corner, pretty much putting the car out on the spot. Yep. Amazingly, Mo managed to limp home 7 kilometres worth on pretty much 3 wheels.
3 wheels and anger, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, yeah, good point. And unfortunately for the Cool Racing crew, there was just too much damage done there, because, I mean, the rear right wheel was at 90 degrees from where it should have been to the direction of travel. I
have it on good authority that he did go along to the garage of the driver that did hit him, sat him down on his knee and told him he'd been very naughty, because Mo is, of course, ELMS Santa.
There you go.
So no presents for them.
For Horst Felix, for Horst Feldmeier, rather, this year. Yes. There you go. There's the point. 79 plays 60, and then a further 8 points back is the DKR Engineering Duqueine car number 4.
This car, though, what stories in the years we've had a number 13 into Europol car, and what a finish to the season they've had. What a finish to the season they've had. Looked like nowhere, to be blunt, at the start of this season, and then it all came good and it stayed good.
Disqualified from Le Castellet at the start of the year. They then finished way down at Imola, scored 4 points, but since then it has just been win, win, win. It could be 4 in a row here at Portimão. That would really clinch the championship in style. And Cool Racing up against it, really, to try and leapfrog into Europol competition. Cool will be hoping that the Polish squad have a nightmare.
That's it.
That's
basically what it comes down to. It's out of their hands. They've got to do what they can to win the race. That's it. That's the great part of this, is they've got no other plan in mind. Hit the front, stay there, and hope that the 13 car has a season that is bookended by misfortune.
One thing that does go in Cool Racing's favour is that you say hit the front, it's very likely they will be at the front at the start of tomorrow's race, because they have a superstar in their ranks in the form of Malte Jakobsen. There have been 5 qualifying sessions in P3 this year. He has topped all 5 of them.
Yep.
And it'll be a brave person, having said how close it's likely to be over the next 10 minutes, a brave person to say it won't be Jakobsen at the top at the end of this. However, I've noticed that one driver, I think it's Kai Aski, who has been going very strongly this weekend. Bit of an unknown entity in this championship, but we'll see how he gets on.
Okay, so out there on track at the moment, let's call them as we find them. The number 2 and the number 3 United Autosports cars, Bailey Hoisin and Kai van Berlo. In the Deco Engineering Duquesne, the number 4 car is Bastien Alvarez. Alex Capardia is in the number 5 RRM Sport car. Ross Kaiser goes for 360 Racing in the number 6. The 7 Nielsen Racing car will be James Littlejohn. It is Xavier Oliveras in the number 10 Euro International Ligier, Max Cobalt in the Sister 11, Guillaume Oliveira in that 13 car looking for 4th consecutive win for Inter-Europol competition, and Matthias Kaprich in the Sister 14 car for the Polish Bakers, their 14 Ligier. RRM Sports 2nd car, the number 15 in the hands of Valentino Catalano, and then Malte Jakobsen, the young Dane in the 17 car. He's out there for Cool Racing. It is Jean-Ludovic Fubert in the sister car. The luckless 27 has had all the luck, all of it bad this year. Can they turn it around? Can they be a factor? So many storylines, Johnny, so much to go. And the one other quick question is, you're on board now with the 13 car. Is it possible this is the last time we'll see Malte Jakobsen in an LMP3 car? He goes to the European Le Mans Series in a P2, and all the indications point out there is a plan ahead for him in a second Cool Racing LMP2 car next year as part of what I think is going to be a very strong squad.
If you've got Malte Jakobsen involved, undoubtedly that will be the case. So run through all the drivers, and Alex Capardia swinging through turn 12 up the hill to be presented by brilliant blue sky mid-October at the Algarve International Circuit, but no shortage of, well, both ambient and track temperature. 34 degrees C down at track level, 26 in the air, and humidity at about 50%. Here comes through 15 then Alex Capardia, the first car to be released onto the circuit, and the session beginning in anger with a 138.527. That's immediately bettered by Antoine Duquin. Kai van Berlo going through even faster for the number 3 United Autosports Ligier, 138.270 for the young Dutchman.
So Kai van Berlo, he's had quite the year, not winning in IMSA's Cura Cup North America this year, but in the mix all year long. Shown his pace. Great to see him back in endurance racing. And that is a cracking start to the campaign here. Timing screen beginning to light up with purple. Sector times, delta times. Trust me, this is going to change and change quickly. We've only got 6 minutes for the bagatelle, the fruit machine of fortune that this timing screen always seems to dole up. Van Berlo, Kaprich goes to second, Duquin, Alvarez, Capardia, Cobalt, Catalano, Littlejohn, Voisin, Kaiser. In that order are the guys who so far have put in a time bettered and going to the top by Guillaume Oliveira, the 13 car, looking to start on this run to get a 4th win from pole position. What is Malte Jakobsen going to have to say about that?
Lots.
Quite a lot, but not by much. Under a 10th clear, 0.069 for the Dane. He goes top with the number 17 Cool Racing car.
Yeah, he found a couple of tenths on Kai van Berlo's time, which was the best at the time, and Guilherme Oliveira able to find the gap as Alex Capardia now back up to the sharp end. Briefly he was third, but Antoine Duquin, who's pursuing him all the way, slots ahead to switch from one side of row 2 to the other. So at much, much slower speed. A look at Guilherme Oliveira's run through the tight left-hander at turn 5, I'm going to say, with a big sausage curb on the inside of that bend. Half a second down from, well, no, Oliveira is only 69 thousandths of a second down from Malte Jakobsen, but Jakobsen's found even more time in the first sector, a 30.5, so he's found about a tenth on Oliveira's best in sector 1.
He's going away here. Sector 2, it's another purple sector from the young Dane. He's half a second up on his own time and pulling away from the efforts of the guys behind him. Jakobsen putting on another demonstration here. How long can this run go on for him? 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Oliveira goes to the top, but that's with Jakobsen in the final sector coming round the turn now. So Guilherme Oliveira, three tenths quicker than Jakobsen was. Jakobsen leapfrogs him and puts almost another couple of tenths back on him. So the new mark, 137.1. Oliveira, though, is not lying down here.
Certainly not. And he is, well, you know this place very well, being Portuguese, only 17 years old, Oliveira. So quite a responsibility, but he's a big talent as well. Similar, really, to Malte Jakobsen, and has done a season of the Asian Le Mans Series at the start of this year with Inter-Europol competition. Was in the ELMS last year for just one race with racing experience, Guilherme Oliveira. I wonder whether he did Portimão, actually, to end the year. That would have fitted nicely. Yeah, that was exactly the case in a Duquesne on that occasion. So switching to Ligier. Big puff of tyre smoke ahead of Malte Jakobsen. Well, that will not faze the Dane. As now over the rise and down into the crucial braking area at turn 5 arrives Antoine Ducat.
Yeah.
So Antoine Ducat, who has just lost out on 3rd position because Sebastian Alvarez for DKR Engineering in that lone Duquesne creeps up to 3rd position. Car number 4 waiting for the number 2 car to cross the line very shortly. Bailey Voisin to see whether he can improve upon his teammate Kai van Berlo. And Voisin does indeed jump ahead of Van Berlo to switch the positions of United Autosports.
Jakobsen 2 sectors into this next lap for him. He's within a tenth of his previous best. Oliveira crosses the line, no improvements. What about Jakobsen? Can he edge away further?
Alvarez, this lap's not going to count for DKR Engineering, already been found to be over the white line too readily. James Littlejohn reaching the top of the hill at turn 13, switching left and now right at 14 in the number 10 machine. Littlejohn, sorry, in the number 7 car for Nielsen Racing, just outside the top 10 for the Brit. Max Cobalt tucked in behind for Euro International.
Under 2 minutes to go for this session. Across the line now comes James Littlejohn. There's an improvement in time, but stays 12th there. Where are the improvements going to come? There are a lot of good sector times here. It's a matter of whether or not they can put them together.
Javier Loveras for Euro International improved on that lap, a 137.8 to put him in 6th position. Valentino Catalano's doing some good times for RLR Sport as well, but they're no better than 5th at this stage. And Alvarez, well, did have a 137, but as reported a moment or two ago, that would be deleted instantly because of a track limits infringement in the first sector.
None of the top cars looking immediately likely to improve here, but how many times, Johnny, we said that this season, only for a last gasp effort? I was screaming.
Yeah. Well, Kai van Berlo's not far away. He's lost a couple of tenths to Jakobsen, so pole position out of his grasp. But there's scope here for Van Berlo to really jump up from 11th position.
Third.
There you go. I had a feeling that was going to be doing the business. And he snatches a 2nd row start provisionally. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock now. So that could be a well-timed run for Kai van Berlo. Bailey Voisin running out of time to offer a response in the sister United car.
Well, significantly, Jakobsen did get across the line and has got this lap. We'll wait to see what his first sector time looks, to see whether or not he's looking to put an underline in highlighter and permanent marker on this session. The moment he's up by 0.175 of a second. Guillermo Oliveira in his first sector time is 0.176 over that, so 3.5 tenths off in the first sector. Bailey Voisin on a good lap, so too is Kai van Berlo. Could make a further improvement. His time is close to the pace of the second place car here.
Yeah,
a minor improvement from Van Berlo in the final sector could have put him on the front row, but I don't think he's going to do it.
Possibly too far away in the first sector. He's gone quicker in the second. Look at Malte Jakobsen, not happy yet with, well, resting on his laurels, a 0.175 gap, because he's just done better than anybody middle sector time. Here comes Oliveira out of turn 15. It'll be checkered flag this time for the Portuguese. And in fact, he won't even take the checkered flag, diving into pit lane instead. So knew that that wasn't going to result in anything special. Kai van Berlo, we're still waiting for him to cross the line, and he does not improve. So stays at a 1:37.570. Bailey Voisin completes the lap, does find some time, and up to 8th position for the British driver with Swiss heritage, a 1:37.923. But Malte Jakobsen makes it a clean sweep for season 2022. 6 pole positions from 6 opportunities. A couple of bodies further along that desk is Nicolas Lapierre, the 4th head in the line there. And to get an applause from Lapierre, that really does mean that you're onto something rather special.
It's highly rated, doesn't begin to cut it, does it? And a stellar career ahead of this young man, without a shadow of a doubt. By the way, lest we forget, look at the names in this field that he's beaten in qualifying this season. These are championship-winning drivers in other disciplines. The guys that have come here with a real expectation of doing very well indeed. And I'll be blunt, in qualifying trim, Malte Jakobsen has schooled a lot of them.
0.175 of a second is the margin. We're not talking tenths or thousandths, we're talking nearly 2 tenths in fact, and a further 3 tenths of a second back to Kai van Berlo. Then Sebastian Alvarez for DKR Engineering, followed by Antoine Ducat in the sister Cool Racing car, and Valentino Catalano for RLR M Sport. I know Wayne Boyd came pretty close to a clean sweep one season in LMP3. I have a feeling that was only 5 poles in 6 though. So we'll need to check now the history books as to whether this is a first, but it's a feat, and we need to get reaction from Cool Racing. Here's Haley.
Well, I think that's what you call flawless, a clean sweep from Malte Jakobsen, 6 poles out of a potential 6. So, I mean, great going for the young guy. What does this mean to you? I can see you're quite moved by this, quite emotional for you, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an extraordinary thing for him to have achieved. I mean, he's such a likable young man. He's obviously extremely talented in a racing car, but he's also an extremely likable young man, and he deserves this accolade to have completed a clean sweep of the pole positions this season. He's been working so hard, he's been putting so much into his driving, listening to all the advice that he can take from everybody in the team, from Max, dare I say it, maybe a little bit from Mo and I on other things, and with Nico and everybody, and it's just an amazing achievement for him and for Max and for everybody in the team to do that. It's phenomenal.
Just a quick word, Mo, on what we were talking about earlier, and you're just telling me about the team spirit that you have here, and how great and how close you are, and how, you know, there's a real kind of sharing advice and information and everything between you.
Was that about this team?
Oh yeah, sorry, the Cool Racing one, right?
Oh yeah, we are close. too close. No, it's an awesome team. It's been a wonderful experience racing with these guys, and everybody's excited about Malta and what they've done with him and what he's done with the knowledge that they've given him. And it's just a great team, and everybody cares about everybody. And I know it sounds cliche, but it really is. It's the truth here, and it's an awesome team to be on.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and good luck in the race tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
We're going to do our best.
We'll do our best. Well, they've certainly gone about it the right way so far in signing Malte Jakobsen, in truth. And like they say, sometimes he needs a bit of life advice. And those two guys who have a bit more of it than Malte are the perfect place to go to. To finish the point about Wayne Boyd, I think it's season 2020 that I was remembering. We only did 5 races that year because of COVID. And only 4 of those 5 races were topped by the number 2 United Autosports car. So 6 in 6 for a season.
Astonishing.
Pretty much confident that that is a first in the history of the ELMS. 1:37.1 is the time that gets Malte Jakobsen to pole position by 0.175 of a second from Inter-Europol competitions Guilherme Oliveira, and that shouldn't be overlooked either from the 17-year-old Portuguese. The number 3 United Autosports car driven by Kai van Berlo left it late, but up to third he went ahead of the DKR Engineering Duquesne. Then the Cool Racing car of Antoine Ducin, 5th fastest, ahead of the RLR M Sport number 15. Euro International 7th fastest, 7/10 of a second further back. The number 2 of Bailey Voisin also made places in the closing stages of the 10-minute session. Into Europol competitions, number 14 car 9th, and ahead of the rest of the cars. So, Malte Jakobsen grabbing the headlines. Can he do likewise tomorrow afternoon?
Well, let's wait and see. A bit of hashtag wait and see there with the 2 championship contenders on the front row of the grid, and 4 hours to decide where that title is going. Well, Gibson make 2 things that make great music: guitars and V8 engines. It's not the same company, but we're going to have 16 of these marvellous machines about to do battle. There will be 1 or 2 people out there saying something along the lines of something, 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 Formula Oreca something. I'll say this: shut up and watch, because it's amazing. Please watch the 4 hours at Portimão tomorrow, because this is amongst the most amazing endurance racing on the planet right now. And what it is a spec machine given to the geniuses of engineering in these teams and the amazing drivers that are about to do battle in qualifying and then racing. And trust me, there's very little out there that stacks up over this kind of distance for the kind of entertainment you get.
I'm still getting over the wordplay that you just dropped out of nowhere there with the Gibson link. What we need now is a race driver called Les Paul, and that will complete it.
Now, I think we were trying to work this out. We
Kramer,
think
yeah,
if they get pole position here, which they've not done this season,
no poles yet so far for the Italian team,
they take the championship.
Because that would give them a 25-point advantage. Therefore, yes, they could be... There's 25 points on offer tomorrow for winning the race, so their points tally could be equalled, but that would automatically take it to countback, and they've had 3 wins this year. Nobody else can get to 3 wins. Even if a team wins tomorrow, they would only be, well, the closest anybody can get is 2 wins. So a point, even though we would end up with teams on the same amount of points, the championship would still go to Prema Racing. And the more I talk about that, the more I'm confident that that is the scenario right now. But there are a number of teams in their way, 15 others.
Yeah, there might be a few people who've got something to say about that. So we've got, who's out there? I mean, almost inevitably, it'll be the Drive It Like You're Angry Matthias Besch will be out there and doing what he does best here. Who else is going to be? It'd be interesting to see who we're going to have from United Autosports putting their... but Jack Aitken, I'm pretty certain, will be aboard the 34 car. He's going to be tough to beat. He's been mega this weekend. And we've got so many, FIA for Cool Racing, all sorts of possibilities. Some spectacular racers, a lot of very spectacular young racers, and that's another great part of this LMP2 class in the LMS this season. I don't know what's going to happen here in terms of who's going to be at the front this weekend, who's actually got the Rubicon unpicked here at Portimão. We've got 2 teams right now still in the mix. This is the other one, the 65 Panis Racing team. They'll be hoping that they finish ahead in front of Prema Racing. Whatever happens, if that's true, if they do finish in front of Prema Racing, goes to tomorrow into the race.
Yeah. Yes, so many different ways that this could pan out, potentially. So it's going to be fascinating to see it develop over the next 10 minutes of qualifying. The start of the year, pole position was taken by Matthias Besch. Yes, in a Pro-Am car, but in the sort of standard championship, the point still goes to Pro-Am cars. So it's going to take it away, potentially, of an all-pro lineup. The same happened at Imola when Alessio Rivera took pole position for AF Corsa. At Monza, it was a pole for Matthias Besch again, so the second one around for TDS. Nico Jamin at Barcelona topped the times, and last time out, Yifei, as you've mentioned, for Cool Racing. Here we go then.
Yep.
And it's a race to the end of the pit lane, first of all, for track position, understandably so. Something that Prema haven't managed to win, but they will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in the sequence.
It's Louis Delatraz who's been handed the, let's call it a chalice for the moment, of qualifying. Prema Racing's number 9 in the hands of Louis Delatraz. The number 19 Algarve Pro racing car, Ben Fiscal, aboard that go. Hugo de Wilde will go to qualifying in the 21 Milner Motorsports car. We wait about the United Autosports cars. That 22 car is in the hands of Tom Gamble. Ben Hanley for Nilsson Racing's 24. The 28 Edec Sport car, Paul-Luc Chatin. TDS racing by Vaillant, Angry Matthias Besch. Richard Bradley in the Duquesne team, number 30 car. Jack Aitken, as we suggested, might be the case in the 34 Racing Team Turkey. BHK Motorsport, Sergio Campana in the 35. Cool Racing, Yifei in the 37. Into Europol's 43 in the hands of Pietro Fittipaldi. James Allen is entrusted with the 47 Algarve Pro racing car. 51 from Team Virage, Gabby Aubry aboard that. Job van Utet goes to qualify in the 65 Panis racing car, the Championship Challenger, and in the 88 AF Corsa car, Alessio Rivera. There's some names to conjure with there. We've got 8.5 minutes to determine whether or not the championship gets settled today. And there is one proud dad waiting to find out if it does.
Jean Denis.
Yes,
Delatraz, yeah, saw he and Louis walking out of Spa at the end of the last meeting. It's normally Louis Delatraz who's given qualifying duties. This will be the 6th session we've had this year. 5 of them, it's been Delatraz at the wheel. The only other one was Ferdinand Habsburg, which I think was Barcelona. For whatever reason, he qualified the car. But Delatraz could potentially win a championship in the next 7 and a bit minutes if he gets the car to pole position. But as we've said, it's a big task, and they almost stand a far greater chance of having a good race across the balance of 4 hours than this moment in time, if you like. So it all will not be lost if they don't get the point, because they will still be 24 points ahead of everybody else. So, you know, it should all be sealed tomorrow, but then again, Portimão has a history of shaking things up like crazy, particularly in the European Le Mans Series.
Again, to remind you of the mathematics here, the point would give them 25 points lead with 25 to go, but they have 3 wins, and no one else can match that. So on count back, whatever else would happen, it would still be Prema. But that's if they get pole position. If not, it goes to the lottery that is a European Le Mans Series race tomorrow. Jack Aitken, at the moment, out there. He's got the purple sector, sector 1 on the outlaps, purple sector, sector 2, Louis Delatraz.
And it was, well, the guy filling in for Jack Aitken, who grabbed many of the headlines at the end of Spa-Francorchamps, the 4 hours. Will Stevens winning the Pro-Am battle within feet of the finish line. He was behind coming out of the bus stop chicane, and then somehow ahead as they crossed the line. An outstanding result for Team Turkey. And
Louis Delatraz to the top.
Yeah.
In the first knockings, it's a 1:32.762. 2 tenths up on Fittipaldi, 2.5 tenths up on Jack Aitken, nearly 4 tenths up on Paul-Luc Chatin. Gabby Aubry, 4.5 tenths back. Then Rivera, Hanley, Campana. Van Uter goes to 2nd place. Panis Racing want a part of this. He's 59 thousandths off Delatraz. Wouldn't that be a story if they managed to take pole and the chance to win the championship today away? I can tell you right now, James Allen goes to the top for Algarve Pro Racing, the 47. But Jon van Uter will be set to stun here without a shadow of doubt. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. James Allen puts in a lap, good enough, put 2 tenths on the provisional pole position time of Louis Delatraz.
So remember, we're concentrating as well on the 65 Panis Racing crew, because they're the only other team that could win the Teams and Drivers Championship within the LMP2 class. as the 47 car worked his way through turn 5 a moment or two ago. 47 being driven by James Allen, now at the top of the shot by 0.2 of a second from Louis Delatraz, who's finding time again though on this lap. The problem here is he's got a bit of traffic to deal with, which is the 43 Euro International, the Inter-Europol competition car of Pietro Fittipaldi, and they're both coming into the pits together.
Yeah, Prema tyres ready, which is, he was 3/10 up on the pole time, but they're banding in that lap. They must be very confident in the pace in this car.
Yeah.
James Allen carries on through. It's a 1:32.551. Can he better that? Matthias Besch goes second. He goes through in a 1:32.742. Delatraz down to third, but taking tyres as we speak. Where is James Allen?
Just heading out of the final corner now. So Prema happy to use another set of Goodyear Eagles. This will eat into their race allocation. James Allen going to cross the line on the racetrack, I think. No, he's going to head into the pits as well.
Yeah.
So this is like a natural pause for so many of the teams deciding to take on a new set of rubber and push again for a second spell. So Paul-Luc Chatin, one of few cars still circulating out on the circuit, heading out of 11 through 12 and 13.
He's up on the pole time by a 10th. Could go to provisional pole if he can carry on with that level of pace through this tricky final sector. The moment it's James Allen, Matthias Besch, Louis Delatraz, Jack Aitken, Jon van Uter, then Paul-Luc Chatin. Chatin, though, is on a quick lap now. Is he going to complete it, or is he too going to head for the pit lane? He heads to the pits.
And again, he was up, so it's a strange decision, but I suppose if you don't come in now, you won't get the chance to do another full lap, change tyres and charge to the line. So clearly they're saying fresher tyres more beneficial than just banking a good lap. Also in is the Nielsen Racing car. So number 23 peeling off in the hands of Ben Hanley. Prema back on the racetrack, having, I'm sure, given Louis Delatraz a brand new set of boots. Joop van Uiter also circulating again in 5th position for Panis Racing. So the championship leaders, 24 points better than Panis Racing. They are 3rd on the grid. Panis are currently 5th.
3 minutes to win it all for Prema.
There is a real danger here that they put far too much value on that 1 point and potentially, you know, do damage to the car in trying to chase it, which will mean a very, very late night. Better to keep the car straight, particularly as there'll be a few out there that just want the final pole of the year, including Joop van Uiter for the reasons you've stressed.
Well, to keep them away from them, and I think this is the point. Across the line he goes to start what will be a penultimate run at pole and the championship from Louis Delatraz. So at the moment, it is Algarve Pro from TDS Racing by Vion, Prema Racing, Racing Team Turkey, Panis Racing, EDEC Sports and United Autosports. With Alessio Rivera still on pit lane, 2 minutes to go, leaves now. Then Pietro Fittipaldi, Ben Hanley, Sergio Campana, Ugo de Vilde, Gabby Aubrey, Ifeye way down the order, Ben Fiscal and Richard Bradley with no time yet posted. Louis Delatraz is up on the pole time. Pietro Fittipaldi is up on the pole time after the first sector.
Tom Gamble crosses the line now for what will be penultimate lap, I reckon, for the United Autosports car. Lap time around here, a hot one, is 1.5 minutes. So
Richard Bradley is up on the pole time.
Nice.
From 16th position.
Now, if you cross the line from this point on, you won't get an extra lap other than the one you're about to start. However, there were many that will get 2 more.
Delatraz, purple in the middle sector, 4/10 up on the provisional pole position time. No one else at the moment anywhere close to that. Pietro Fittipaldi could be a threat. Richard Bradley completes the lap, but only goes 15th. Poor third sector.
Losing time somewhere.
James Allen starts his final lap.
Fittipaldi could be on for something pretty special here in terms of previous personal best times.
Delatraz, pole.
Provisionally. But he goes to the top and the ripple of applause begins down at Prema Racing. So how much better off is he? 84 thousandths of a second from James Allen. But Joop van Uiter will still have a say on this. Matthias Besch surely as well. And how many other cars are going to be able to cross the line before the checkered flag is out? 30 seconds left on the clock. Joop van Uiter begins another one.
Yeah, James Allen is up. Paul-Luc Chatin is up. Jack Aitken is up. Louis Delatraz is up on his own time.
So 5 cars potentially, all could be on for something far better. And Paul-Luc Chatin might be the one here, 93 thousandths of a second quicker than anybody else, but that's only through the first sector. So what about Paul-Luc Chatin? It's Prema Racing, the team that desperately want this point to seal the championship before we do any racing this weekend. But they only have 84 thousandths of a second to be resting upon, and there are quick drivers further back. But all of a sudden,
nobody's up on that time.
They seem to have lost their advantage. So clearly, Louis Delatraz found his time in the middle and the end sector. Oh, now Tom Gamble has just produced an amazing first sector to be nearly a 10.5 clear of Delatraz once you extrapolate the same amount of pace through the course of the rest of the lap. The problem is I'm not sure United Autosports are quite strong enough through sectors 2 and 3. An even better time from Louis Delatraz, but
Aitken
goes to the top
from nowhere.
Jack Aitken, car 34 for Racing Team Turkey, as he takes the checkered flag, snatches pole position away from Delatraz. We still don't have an answer as to where Tom Gamble can get either. With a 28.8, he's just done a 29.9 through the middle sector. That is 0.3 slower than Jack Aitken's effort.
Amazing. For about 2 seconds, Prema thought they had the championship. Then Jack Aitken snatched it from their grasp.
To go back on that again, Delatraz improved on the provisional time for 2 seconds, and then Aitken just took it from him like candy from a baby. No, it was much harder than that. Tom Gamble over the line to 5th position. That's
faces.
the reaction from Prema Racing. It would have been great if the camera was on them all the time, because there would have been celebration, and then it's just taken from them as quickly as it arrived. And Jack Aitken, remember, in a Pro-Am car, but it has prevented Prema Racing from taking that crucial point that could have secured the championship today.
Before we just extend our thoughts about that one, 15 of the 16 cars in a single second, and the 16th car 1.046 of a second off that pole position. That was phenomenally close. Amazing stuff there. Well done, Racing Team Turkey and TF Sports. Prema Racing, boy, did they give it their best. I thought they'd done it. I thought they'd seen off the challenge. Jacques Venuta, no better than 4th there. Just to go through these times, Johnny, 132.3, 132.4, 132.5, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.7, 0.8, nothing in it, anywhere. You know, one stumble by anybody there, just half a tenth, 3 places.
And about half the field set their best lap of the session on that final tour. That's why we struck 7 of the 16, so it's not quite half, but you know, nearing it. And that's why we struggled really to get fully on top of what was going on, because Jack Aitken was buried in the middle order. We were trying to work out where he was quickest, but it seems like the Racing Team Turkey car had been tuned to be good through the middle and the final sector, whereas there were a lot of cars finding time in the first sector, but they couldn't sustain that.
And by the way, 4 of the top 5 did it in the final lap as well. That's the other point here. The only one that didn't, James Allen. But that was another stellar qualifying session from the European Le Mans Series. And Jack Aitken, well, boy, have you given us a day tomorrow. Thank you very much, young man.
Well, it was quite a celebration, I'm sure, at the end of the 4 hours of Spa-Francorchamps down at Racing Team Turkey / TF Sport, when they took the class victory at literally the last possible moment for Will Stevens. Now that Jack Aitken's back, he kind of had something to live up to, didn't he, after Will Stevens' performance 3 weeks ago in Belgium. And it's not matched the class victory that they took, but it's come pretty close to it. And yeah, that was very dicey indeed. 72 thousandths of a second better off from Louis Delatraz, and a very happy Charlie Eastwood about to be chatting to Hayley Edmonds.
I'm joined here by Charlie Eastwood. Charlie, I mean, as far as polls go or qualifications go, I think that was probably one of the most tense ones of the year, and what a way to get your first pole than here at Portimão.
Yeah, it was amazing. Unreal last lap from Jack. Obviously, as always, in P2, the gaps are so small. and we knew that he's always been strong in the last sector, and he nailed the middle sector, and we knew we were going to be close to it. But yeah, what a lap to pull out for pole position.
Just a word about tomorrow's race. I mean, what are your expectations for it?
I mean, that makes a big help. The big thing around here, as it's so fast and flowing, it's really quite difficult to pass. So, I mean, the goal is, of course, to try and seal the Pro-Am Championship, but also a big goal of ours is to try and get an overall podium. So, yeah, we'll be going for both of those tomorrow.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10th and a half taken out of Louis Delatraz's time by Jack Aitken in that really tricky final sector, and that is the overall classification. Racing Team Turkey's 34 Orica, a 1:32.375 snatches pole position and the championship win today from the number 9 Prema Racing effort of Louis Delatraz. Should take nothing away from Delatraz. He approached that brilliantly, led the session more than once, really put the pressure on the rest there, and they had to bring their A game. And boy, did Jack Aitken do that.
There was a moment when you said Delatraz is 3/10 up and he's decided to pit, but I do think that final sector was going to be too slow because A, the car, the number 9 car, is not as strong as the 34 in the final sector, and he was caught in behind the Inter-Europol competition machine. So it was clearly the right decision to come in for a new set of tyres. A rather straight-faced Nico Jamin now chatting to Joop van Outert. Well, they will be delighted that the championship is still just about alive for Panis Racing, but the 65 car will only start from the outside of the second row and
behind the championship rivals.
Exactly, behind the 9 car.
Anyone who wants to go for a lunge there, that could be interesting, couldn't it?
They're on the same side of the track, so the outside of the circuit as they head down towards turn number 1. And that could be high drama. We don't want it decided at the first corner of a 4-hour race. We want it to go the full duration, of course. Still further discussions being had down at various teams, including Iron Lynx, but we really should get some reaction from Prema Racing. They haven't quite got the championship yet, Hayley.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm joined here by Ferdinand Habsburg. I mean, it was so close. It really went down to the last lap there, but Louis did such a great job.
I think we all did, to be honest, because we were so far away in qualifying all year. We never scratched into the top 4, really, and I think that's amazing. You know, we did such an improvement to finish second in qualifying. I think if we were to go again, maybe we could get pole position, but I think it's great. And also, we are hoping for a good finale race where we can clinch the championship then. So also I feel then more included myself.
You can take some credit for it. No, you're right. He really did throw everything at it. But I mean, what does this change with regards to your approach to tomorrow now? Because really, you know, you're going to have to go all out.
It's a huge change. I'm going to have a huge panic, heart attack. I'm going to start sweating tonight. No, I mean, it will be the same, but not the same, because you are, know what you have to lose and you know what you have to win. I think we still want to win the race tomorrow, so we're going to still go for that. But we're not maybe going to reduce the risk a little bit, because all we have to do is finish in the top 10. So just all smooth sailing, hopefully.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
And it has tended to be Ferdy to start the races, so it'll be his responsibility to keep it out of trouble. I'm not sure it really does change a great deal. They will have already allocated their starting drivers, and they can approach it very conservatively. They don't need many points.
They can, but like you said,
is it in their nature?
You don't. You sort of can't. You're tuned into performance. You can choose conservatism if you like later, but you're tuned into the performance. Can't wait for tomorrow, Johnny.
You can't afford really to give that opening stint 75%, because there's always the chance of contact and losing time in the crucial opening hour. Be sure to be joining us tomorrow, certainly for the 12:40 start when we're on air, but also for the Le Mans Cup race in the morning. We will see you for an entertainment-packed day tomorrow. Bye for now.